All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work with true sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the lesson. It says Proverbs 8 and we'll start at verse 21. It says that I may cause those that love me. This is wisdom speaking. This is wisdom being personified as a woman. So this is wisdom speaking to speaking out loud, basically. So that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. Now, when you read this, it speaks about gaining wealth and gaining treasure. And the thing about it that Christianity would use this, or more precisely, plantation Christianity. All Christianity, is plantation Christianity. But plantation Christianity, which is the white man's religion, preaches a doctrine of prosperity. They call it the prosperity gospel. Well, they are led to believe that you basically give your life to Jesus Christ, that the Lord owes you all kind of blessings and riches. And they actually believe that, man. They actually believe that the Lord's going to bless them with possessions and things of that nature. That's why you got these mega pastors basically living like multimillionaires. And these leaders of these camps as well. They live in good, man. They get all kinds of wealth from donations and tithing that they extort from the people. And that's the concept of Christianity, or that's the concept of the Bible, that you Jakes love. You Jakes love getting shit, man. Now this shit works for Esau because he's in his blessing. This is the time of his blessing. This is the time where he's on the top of the totem pole, so to speak. And they use this scripture right here and other scriptures. One being, for example, there's one in Psalms where it talks about give you the desire of your heart, something to that effect. Let me see if I can find it. Psalms 37 is 4, and it says, delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee desires of thine heart. Now I seen this. I seen this. It's a lot. I seen this scripture used by Christians. And thinking that they got jobs, they got certain jobs or certain things from the Lord. That basically put them in a good position. And that's prosperity Christianity for you. That's what it teaches. And they use scriptures like this, Psalm 37 and 4, and Proverbs 8 and 21 that we just read. It said that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance and fill their treasures. But if you want to read in context, it speaks about a certain kind of treasure, a certain kind of substance. And this is verse Proverbs 8 and 18 says, riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness. Now the key word in that is durable, enduring. And that goes to show you that it's not speaking about any type of wealth or possession or substance that the world provide. And the proof of that is in let me see if I can find it. This is Matthew 6. We'll start at verse 19. It says, lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust does corrupt, They were the corrupt. It's a lot. Hold up. It says where moth and rough dust corrupt. I was trying to get the little footnote. Sometimes it's hard to get. Let's see. Salakia. So that word corrupt is ruin. So lay down for yourself treasures upon earth where moth and rough dust corrupt or ruin, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rough dust corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Now that's so to show you that the durable riches that's spoken of in Proverbs 18 and 18 are spiritual riches, spiritual treasures. Because it says here where moth and rust does not corrupt and thieves do not break through steel, they're durable. As opposed to the world's riches, where it explains that it goes through decay and ruin. So going back to Proverbs 8 and 18, or 8 and 21, where was I at? That I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. 18 riches honor with me, yea, durable riches. So these riches, these substance this wealth that the scripture is talking about, is talking about in the kingdom on the spiritual side, and it's also talking about this truth. Let's get Psalms 19 and 10. This is Psalms 19 and 10, and it says, we'll start at verse 7, speaking about this word. So the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgment of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. So basically, us obeying the Lord is what reigns supreme. Righteousness reigns supreme. Godliness reigns supreme. It says, more to be desired are they than gold, yea, than fine gold, sweeter than honey and the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is a servant warned, and in keeping them is great reward. That's speaking about spiritual riches, man. Because we don't preach a prosperity gospel. On the contrary, we preach the true teaching of the Bible preaches a difficult life. They got that old Marine Corps recruiting poster. We don't promise you a rose garden. Basically speaks to you're gonna have a hard life. So that's what that is right there. It's not speaking of no prosperity bullshit. You're gonna come into the truth and things are gonna go your way. They had that one bug out dude that said that when he became a Hebrew Israelite that he got COVID. And he blamed having COVID on being a Hebrew Israelite. So he saw that like, oh, well, I got cursed for being a Hebrew Israelite. Which is the most ridiculous thing that you can, that you can say. And there was other individuals like a long time ago, how they came into the truth and when they started coming to the truth, then basically a lot of shit started going bad for them. And then when they so-called rejected or got out of the truth, then shit started going their way. You know why? Because the world loves its own. And that's why we're not to be envious of the oppressor. We're not to be envious of the world. We're not supposed to love mammon. You start looking at everybody else's life being a so-called fucking carefree party, then you're going to start getting jealous. You're going to think you're missing out. And if you've been in this truth long enough, or the spirit really dealing with you, then you come to a full understanding that you ain't missing out on nothing, man. We ain't missing out on nothing. Matter of fact, we have more abundance. We have more joy. We have more peace. We have more peace of mind. We have more assurance. And we have more acceptance of the difficult than anybody out here. But that comes with you being the truth and going through different hardships, man. Let's get Hebrews 10 and 34. This is Hebrews 10 and 34. It says, well, I'll start at verse. Speaking of that life of difficulty. Hebrews 10:32. But call to remembrance the former days in which after you were illuminated, enlightened, you came into this truth. You were enlightened, you were illuminated, you knew things, man. After you were illuminated, you endured a great fight of afflictions. Let's get that word. Struggles and suffering. So the scripture telling you what happens when you come into the truth. When you get illuminated, when you get enlightened, it says you endure a great fight. And struggle. It says what struggles. It's hard to get this to work sometimes. Struggles with sufferings and afflictions. Party ye were made a gazing stock. I like getting these little footnotes, but sometimes they don't really cooperate. Anyways, both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly while ye became companions of them that were so used. If you compassion me in my bonds, and to joyfully spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourself that ye have in heaven a better and enduring substance. Cast not away therefore your confidence, which has great recompense of reward. See, so it plainly shows you that that reward in the substance is spiritual, and we're not going to get it on this side. So it's pointless to go and try to be a goddamn multimillionaire. And like Elder Gabar says, the phone has to agree with that one. It's pointless for you to, not saying brothers be bums, but that shit's on the back burner. That's just, if the Lord provides you with a certain job and that gives you a certain amount of money, then guess what? Understand that He can take it away just as fast as He gave it. And eventually it's all going to go away to begin with, man. No matter what. So we keep our mind on these scriptures, not thinking about getting greater substance or whatever riches and material or status symbols of this world. And Jake gets caught up in status symbols. It says, cast in verse 35, come away therefore it comes as great compass of reward. For you have need of patience, that you have done the will of Yahweh, you might receive the promise. And that's where men fail. They lose patience. They lose the ability to suffer and go through straits. They get impatient, man. And what does it say here? That you might receive the promise. Well, what is that promise? Well, that promise is being joint heir with Yahweh Shai, Romans 8 and 17. That promise is just get Proverbs 1. It's not Proverbs, but 1 Peter 1 and 4. That promise is go ahead and get this. That promise is an inheritance. First Peter 1 and 4, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you, who are kept by the power of Yahweh through favor to salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time. When you greatly rejoice, though now foreseeing be in heaviness through manifold temptation. So these are scriptures that's going to intensify as we get closer to the coming of Yahweh Shai, as we get closer to the fulfillment of prophecy. That the trial of your faith be much more precious than gold that perishes, though we try with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Mashiach Yahweh Shai. So it's basically telling you that the trial, the testing is going to intense prior to the coming of Yahweh Shai. So basically, that's all spelled out right there, man. And that's what we got to keep our spirit on, our mind on. Our mind should be geared to endure coming afflictions. But with that being said, it's a quick lesson. Most High will and hope is edifying. With that, I want to give our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai. Call Allah, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.